I'm not getting any adverts. Is anyone getting advertisements? I may as well drop it. So, just I don't need the cans right now. So, how's everyone going? How's everyone doing? By which I mean, hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 27th of August edition of my glorious little live stream. Tonight we have no subject matter because I was helping Camille get ready for her first day of school tomorrow instead of, doing the news and the reading and stuff. It is hellishly hot. Right now it's down to 24 degrees, but it still feels like a sweat box in here. It was 29 earlier. That's degrees Canadian, not degrees freedom. If David Evans is already here, he'll probably do the math for for people who are either old or American. Where was I? Oh yes, I was starting my beginning spiel. If you are watching us, time shifted to tomorrow, next week, or next month, or whatever. Thanks for doing that. I do love seeing comments appear after the fact. Last week I got an Audi from Jim. I think it was the next day or very late. It does me some good to know that you guys just are interacting with the content after the fact. Excuse me. There we go. I'm just going to put my watch on the charger as we make chat here. If at any point tonight you are absolutely loving what's happening, like this is just fantabulous, then I invite you to, I'm just wiping a sweat off my poor watch. I invite you to hit that smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really kind of don't like what's going on, you're like, this is sucktacular, you know what you can do? You can just hit that frowny thumb. That works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, keeping the lights on and keeping me rolling in glory, if not necessarily gold, as several in the side chat already have. Sorry, I was pointing the wrong way. I invite you to hit there, I believe, join button. Right click on it and open another tab. And there you will see the 2 tiers of membership that are available to you, as well as what each tier gets you for your hard-earned cash. Whoo, hot. So I'm just going to see who's kicking back with us, and then we will get on to some Chitty McChat. I have a couple of ideas of what we could talk about. I don't remember. I think in the last live stream I told you about my Alberta trip. Like, did I give you the Alberta sort of sum up last time we met? I got back from Alberta on the 19th/20th. The next day we did a live stream, right? Am I remembering this right? Oh, for land's sakes, I just don't know what we've been doing. Anyways, we can either talk about anything. As I said, I was helping Camille get ready for school, first day tomorrow instead of setting up this live stream, and so I kind of worth it. But anyways, I'm gonna see who's kicking back with us and say hi to those who require a hello, and say hi to those who don't require a hello. I mean, I'm an equal opportunity helloist. Canadian popped in at 8:55, which was like 30 seconds after I set this live stream up. So that boy, he fast. Country boy. Oh, by the way, I also popped in early because I saw a Canadian like boop. I was like, okay, I gotta get in there. Country boy trapped in the city also a little early. He was at 8:57 as well. I mean early. Like I just set tonight up really late. As you can see by those little icons next to Country Boy's name, he is not only a channel hero, but he's also a channel mod. So be nice or be. There's David Evans, also channel hero and channel mod. So be polite or. Hey, we got Grace Martin in the house as well. How's it going? How you doing tonight, Grace? I hope the weather is not beating you up as much as it's beating me up. Tomorrow I have to do a relay race at work, and it's supposed to be stinking hot too. So I'm like, oh God, really? Everyone's just sort of saying hi. Hey, we got Chris in the house. How's it going, Mister? A lot of nice truck pics on your Facebook, Ash. I've got water and I've got tea. I'm not doing beer anymore. I've told you guys I'm tired of gooshing beer all over my keyboard and my desk and everything. I do, however, have a Glencairn for a little later. So wait, let me just sort of say hi to them who are hanging with us. Mark, how's it going, Mark? Mark is a channel hero, as you can tell by that little icon. Country Boy did get in that. Okay, because I was like thumpity thumping, and I was watching. Like I have the StreamYard on this monitor, and then on I'm pointing the wrong way. This monitor, I have the YouTube window playing muted, and I was like tuck, and I was like, I'm not getting an ad. What's going on? So I cut it a little short. But you guys, but if you did get an ad, then I won't cut it short just because I'm not getting an ad. Because sometimes I do get an ad, sometimes I don't. Anyways, so that's good to know. You know, hold on, Scott, how you doing? Have I asked you what kind of dog that is in your avatar, Scott? Is it like a Malinois or something? It looks like a huge dog. I like dogs. I miss having a dog. Christy, sorry to hear. I think he was just being a brat. The cat is still alive up there. Still, well, okay. She's becoming welcome. I just, not my cat. So 29 degrees Canadian is 84 degrees freedom. Okay. Chris is old and American. I love it. Canadian's going to be in Orlando Saturday night. It's going to be stinking hot, I'm sure. Why would you do that in the summer? I'd like to see Florida, or actually, I'd like to sort of see a bunch of those states, but like not in the summer. Not in the summer. I want to see the far north in the summer, and I want to see sort of the southern areas in winter. When my wife and I were in Arizona and Nevada, that was November, and it was still hot enough for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Christy, I think Tim was just being a brat on the Discords. Who we got? Hey, we got Marcus. How's it going, Marcus? Marcus has a dog in his avatar now as well. Looks like a pretty dog. Oh, you're gonna be in Las Vegas on Saturday. That's gonna be stinking hot too. Everyone's just being so nice and saying hi, calling each other heroes. I tell you, you're my hero. Oh, Bahamian Cruise. Oh, that's all right. Bring me home a bottle of rum, will you? Hey, look who's here. Honeybee. I haven't seen you here in a minute. Honeybee sent me pictures of his dogs snoozing earlier. So I sent him a picture of Clémence on the sailboat on Sunday. Wind whipping her hair. We could be radio silent for like 3 weeks, and then I'll get a picture of dogs. And then so I sent him a picture of kids. Yes, Destiny, I am live. Destiny, by the way, is a channel hero, as you can tell by that logo. Christy, also, I forgot to mention, is also a channel hero. Honeybee is a channel mod, so be nice or hammer time. Does anyone even know that song anymore, or am I dating myself? The sinuses are going crazy again, as usual. It's good to know. Hey, 8 Acres, how's it going, Serge? You almost forgot. I almost forgot at one point today as well. So we're even. We're even. Thumbs up. Hammers in the house. Yes. How many people I have what? 19 watching? Well, like I have to reload the YouTube page because it says 1 thumbs up. I think I might have more than that. Because this is some high quality entertainment here, people. 16 thumbs up, 19 people watching. So 3 people are breaking my heart right now, but that's okay. 2 people are breaking my heart right now, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other, so I don't have to worry about catching up. I'm just skipping down, making sure I'm not missing anyone. If I did miss you, please say something in all caps. Oh, Destiny, this is weird. Now we're back to it maybe being pertussis. She went for a test today. It's just somebody's got to know what it is at some point, but it doesn't seem to be having as much trouble. So I'm thinking that it might have been pertussis, and like if you don't medicate it right away at the beginning, then there's kind of no point. Just sort of let it run its course, and she's vaxxed, so I'm not worried about her croaking. Excuse me. Destiny. Ray or Scott. The thing is, like, I know Scott, and he's a great guy. He's a fabulous guy. But I also know his partner, and she's also fabulous, and she's as knowledgeable about whiskey as he is. They're a great couple, so I'd really rather you didn't go housebreaking in Alberta. You don't live in Alberta, right? I think that Scott, my buddy Mike Morton, and I are going to do a cocktail live stream on my other channel sometime this fall. Scott's fall is very packed, musically speaking. So I don't know when he's going to be in town, but we're going to try and come up with a base spirit that all 3 of us can get and do a cocktail for that live stream. I wish we had time for more of those live streams, but I mean, I can only pack my life with so much YouTube before it starts to really eat into family time. So, you know. Oh, the heat's has finally given you a break out in the coast. Very nice country. I'm very happy for you. It was okay here, and then it just suddenly went, hey, you know what? You're going to burn. And I've been sweating ever since. Hey, Beto's here. How's it going? How's the weather where you are, Beto? Are you baking like I am, or are you okay? Okay, everyone just saying hi. Oh, she's Nikita. Oh, she's no longer with us. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. I used to know someone with a Nikita. They're lovely. Lovely. Russell's here. Went to slap a bug. Oh, I bet you that hurts. I've done something similar before, and yeah. Yep. I did not accidentally run over the cat. Where's this? I didn't drive today. I took the bus. And let me tell you, taking the bus home from work out near the airport on a day like this with a non-air conditioned bus, it was like full on swamp ass territory. Man, the press of humanity stinks when it's 30 degrees out. Come down to Florida in January. Yeah, maybe it's hard to plan time away. I'm just sort of seeing. Chrissy refreshed and got an ad. Sorry about that. I don't think that Peanut Trucker and David would have forgotten the thumbs ups. Thumbs ups. Thumbs up. Right now I got 22 watching and 19 thumbs ups. Hey, Shawnee's here. How's it going, Shawnee? How you doing on this night of nights? How's the weather where you are? Are you stinking hot or are you kind of okay? I'd like to see Savannah, Georgia. I hear it's a very pretty town. I'd like to see it. Destiny's not a home record. Just love you, thick delicious man. Fair enough. Dad bods, a little dad'll do ya. Uh, David, Scott is a buddy I know through music. He lives in out in Alberta. He's in a band that's quite a bit. The name of their band is quite a bit larger than ours, but still fabulous, down to earth people. And every year when I go out there for our little Alberta tour and we do that festival, he and I meet up and do a little whiskey video. I mean, every year for the past 3 years, 3 years, I think. I've been doing that festival for about 10 years now, and we finally was like, we got to do a video together. So what we do is we buy a bottle and open it on camera. Do a little tasty McTaste. It's fun. Oh yeah, Destiny's telling you all about it. Yeah, that was on my last video. Best breed of dogs next to a German Shepherd. My Camille would like an Akita. I don't think we can afford one. Like, the breeders and stuff is all very expensive, and there's just so much to pay for in life that no, not right now. Destiny's. I think it's Mercury retrograde for Destiny tonight. One miscommunication after another. Love it. Felt like 108 today, and you're in Wisconsin. So 108 would be like 41, I'm guessing, in degrees Kazakhstani. Yeah, it's hard on the soul. I had to change when I got home. I was gonna shower, but I ran out of time. Yeah, David is in Florida all winter, every winter. That's true. Just do like a meetup. Sal says it's like 24 right now, but it's humid. Like walking into a wet tongue. Is that the correct quote? That's pretty close. I'll let you have that one. The weather had a heat index of 108 in Minnesota the other day. Today more of an 85. So if 85 is around what I'm sitting at right now. Is Minnesota the state with that fabulous new flag, the sort of blue with the shape and the star? Is that Minnesota? There's a guy on Scott's bass lessons who I watch, Sean Allison, I think, and he's got this cap with this flag on it, and I had to look it up because I was like, wow, that's fabulous. And there's a state that had recently changed its flag to that, which I had forgotten about, and it's just gorgeous. It's fabulous. Is it Minnesota? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Or am I just kind of a geek that way? I like flag design. I like all kinds of design, actually. I went to Savannah a few years ago. Great place. Even visited a special person's grave. I would like to. Hey, Jay Garcia in the house. Any suggestions on a new folding saw for heavy use? I will tell you something. I love my Silky. Okay, I love my Silky, but because it's a pull saw, you can snap the blade really easily because they're very thin, right? It's a laser, but you have to remember, Japanese saw, you cut on the pull, not the push. I remember Scrambled Dough. I don't know how many of you guys might remember Scrambled Dough, but he snapped the tip off his Silky. That it is the same way, like trying to cut on the push, because we're used to cutting on the push, right? European saws, or I guess we could call them American saws, but they're European saws on the push, right? Power, whereas Japanese saws on the pull, nuance. So though I'm an absolute Silky fan, I think the what's the other sort of everyone's got? The other one that everyone's got. It's I think it's a Scandinavian saw. Laplander? Am I right? Is it a God, I'm blanking on it. But thicker blade, heavier build, more power for heavy use. But I mean, if you want to bring it up to like a buck saw, I think the Boreal 21 is great. Some people find that the way the handle folds gives them hot spots, but I don't. I don't find that. It's a terrific saw, and it's very easy. It's not quite one-handed, but you flip it open and click. Right? It's not like the what's it, the Bob Distrude, that that sort of classic aluminium and wood. That one comes in pieces and you have to fit it together. This is like, think of that, but flip, click, done. I have a review of the Boreal, the Agua Canyon, the Boreal 21 on my channel. Anyone else got suggestions for a folding saw for heavy use? Thing about the Silkies is that they make some big ones and some smaller ones. Like they get all the way up to the Katana Boy, which is huge and really expensive. Christie's, I can see our temps all the way up to September 10th, 105. Yuck. Destiny says to David, our Scott likes mallow, can't compete with that. Oh, yours was a rescue. Nice. My fiddler has a okay, I love cats, but I'm allergic to cats. Can't have any more cats. Because when I stopped having cats, I stopped needing my asthma pump 98% of the time. But my kids would like a cat, and so I was looking into it, and my fiddler has a Russian blue, which are hypoallergenic, but it's the same thing, like big money. But theirs is a rescue, so they got theirs for like SPCA prices. It's like, that would have been nice. Canadian will take 84 over minus 35. I like it cold. In the winter, if it gets too cold, you can just keep layering it up. In the summer, if it gets too hot, you can only take off so many layers before you get arrested, right? So I prefer the cold weather. I'm not saying I love minus 35. Thankfully, Montreal doesn't stay at minus 35. It doesn't go down there too often, but it's more like minus mid to high 20s. But anyway. Wait, David went to your family plot in Savannah? That is downright gothic. That's a Savannah, Georgia story. That's a Florida story. That's like a Poppy Z. Bright kind of thing. I don't know if any of you guys have read anything by Poppy Z. Bright. But she's like an American Gothic kind of Southern vampire kind of author. Country Boy says, yeah, but she broke his heart. I love it. Steps for the quotable quote of today. Well, he was quoting me back at me. Yeah, and Steps agrees with you that minus 35 sucks. Steps says it's actually a bastardized Jess quote. Shawnee says, yes, they changed the Minnesota flag to an easier design. It's controversial as to who likes it, though. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's fabulous. Look, I have a history as a graphic designer, right? And I think it's a very strong design. Was the old one was one of those blue ones with a crest on it, right? And there was an issue. No, I would look this up, but then I'd be boring everyone to tears. But I think it's absolutely spectacular. I love it. I think whoever designed it was a bloody genius. Because the best designs are just that simple shapes, good colors, just super simple. Like one of my favorite of the American state flags is New Mexico. Very, very simple, but striking. Like you can see it off in the distance. Like, yep, I recognize that. Whereas a lot of those sort of blue flags with the seal in the middle, you can't tell the difference between what is that, New York or whatever, Vermont. I think, don't they both have simple? So I just So sweet, so classy, clean lines. Love it. Grace has not broken the tip of her silky. I haven't either, but I have come bloody close. I have come very close to breaking the tip of the silky. Yeah. Apparently I said something about a poop mustache the other day. What was that? What did I say? No. What I said was that if were we talking about like electrical calling, and I said that up here. I don't remember what I said. It was something about if you get associated with a robocalling campaign, that hangs on you like a shit bow tie, and so it tends to kill political careers up here. David is going to Cabela's in Ottawa next week to pick up something where we don't talk about on my channel, but I'm going to want to hear all about it afterwards. Raspberry, I think I have the Agua Canyon saw. It's pretty good, but I don't know much about saws. Yeah, you do have one. You do. I think I borrowed it from you when I was. She came from a kill shelter in Indiana. Well, it's good that you saved her from that then. My better half is a rescue. I'm going to say I got him for SPCA prices from now on. Okay, fair enough. I think I may have caused a problem there. Yeah, that's an interesting question, Christy. Who the hell would give an Akita to a kill shelter? It wasn't a dog with like an attitude problem or something? Because usually it's like, oh, this dog is beautiful, but it ate the face off my baby kind of thing. Okay, she was a runaway. You like the pentagram. What are you... Did I say something? You have the Agua Canyon saw, but you don't know much about saws. I said something. He said, yeah, I like the pentagram. I'm blanking here. Russell, by the way, is a channel hero and a channel mod, so be nice or he'll drop the hammer on you. Just making sure, because I forgot to say that earlier. Oh, she had mange and only weighed 47 pounds. Well, it sounds to me like you gave her a good life. You had her for almost 6 years. That's nice. That's good. Thanks, Destiny. I have a new word for the wife. Thickalicious. That's me. Me too, man. Me too. I got the blood pressure problems to prove it. Country boy is like, I've been rescued a few times. My owners can't take my poor behavior for long. Good to know. Oh, yeah, that's nice. I mean, I hope she, I hope when she came to the end, I hope she went well. Didn't suffer or anything. And I echo what Destiny's saying about it, for sure. Oh, I got to the end of the, I caught up. Nice. Very nice. So what the heck was I going to talk to you guys about tonight? Last Friday, I missed Books Fest because I had a one-off gig. We were replacing a band that was off doing something else at Hurley's Irish Pub in beautiful downtown Montreal. And I got a lot of questions about my Boron. And I realized that I would love to retire this Boron because I've had this since 1999. And Fred Halpin, this guy right here, he's been dead for like 10 or 15 years, maybe 10. And so they're not being made anymore. So if something happens to this, it's irreplaceable. So I've been thinking, I would love to be able to afford to retire this, because also this was expensive as hell. In 1999 dollars, this was like 400 kind of thing. I've been thinking a lot about my instruments because, as some of you know, maybe you all know at this point, my bass went walkabout on the way back from Calgary after our tour. It's the second time it's disappeared on me, and they're vastly more expensive now than they were 15 years ago when I bought that one. Not quite 15 years, pretty close though. I bought it in 2010. The boron, something happens to it, it's irreplaceable because he's dead, and his son elected not to carry on the the business. It's just like I'm thinking about my instruments and like, because you build, excuse me, you build like a personal connection to your musician, to your instruments, So yeah, and I was just thinking about that today because I was playing it, as part of the intro, and I was thinking about that, how I would like to, retire this one for home use only, or like special occasions. Stuff. Oh, you guys got an ad. Hold on. Russell says, tempted to adopt a dog from a rescue, but they were all the same. They only had problem dogs, and our kids were pretty young at the time. Yeah, if your kids are young, it's best to not take any chances. Scott says she had boiled chicken breast and hearts, livers, and gizzards every day. That sounds like that was probably a very happy dog. I got all the stuffs back where the whiskey bottles show and tell. Yeah, I got all the stuffs back. I acquired 6 bottles out there, and I brought 4 of them home. That's all I could fit into my luggage, and I don't have any of them here right now. I did buy the James gin. That's James May's gin, the Asian parsnip. Haven't opened it yet. I bought the Navy Strength James gin. Anyone who used to watch Top Gear or the Grand Tour knows who James May is, and he has a gin. Those guys are all doing kind of cool things now that whole stage of their lives is over. They've got a YouTube channel, a couple of YouTube channels maybe, and like one of them's got a farm, one of them's got gin, one of them's got blah blah blah. Excuse me. Hold on. I was not going to talk about cheesecake and biscuits and gravy. What? Christy made chicken taco salad for supper. That sounds great. Hey, Mike's in the house. How you doing? Nice to see you. My water is finished. How's the weather? Up here it's stankin' hot, but I'm sure it's way worse down. Oh, Chris told me how. Yeah, you're not the only one in Florida who's here. Wait, they only did Akitas? Man, imagine you can have a shelter, a running shelter, just on Akitas. What is up with that? Yep, Chris, I did finally get it back. The bag with all my clothes and bottles in it showed up finally, and the web page that was keeping me up to date said that both bags were returned. So I sent some frantic emails around and finally made a call to the airline, and they said nope, it's listed here, it's still at the airport, so they'll probably call you tomorrow. We do an inventory early in the morning. We'll tell them to get on top of that for you. So I said okay. So it arrived 2 days later, on the Friday. Ah, look who's here. How's it going, Jennifer? How you doing tonight? Chris is in Vegas, I think he said. So you got the place to yourself. Kicking back with a glass of wine, relaxing, watching watching a little live stream action. Chris, hey wife, I'm your thickalicious man. That's just never gonna get old, hey Chris. Um, Mike with Mike is wicked tired, just stopping by for a few minutes. Yeah, I get that. So on Sunday, some of you know, Clem, her mom and I went sailing with a buddy of mine on the boat that I used to crew on. Light wind, perfect. We almost didn't have to tack at all. We went out to the sandbar in the middle of Lexington. We relaxed a bit, had some food and a couple of drinks, and then like the weather changed on us. It was supposed to rain later that night, and it started looking kind of like that looks like rain coming in. Oh, that was lightning. And like we're sitting on a boat with like a 40-foot aluminum pole on it, right? So we elected to get the hell back to the dock. So we raced the squall all the way back to the dock. It caught up with us just before we docked. So we did get quite wet, but at least we didn't get taken out by a lightning strike or anything. And we went and sat in the yacht club, the clubhouse, had a drink, then came home. And then like I sat down with Clem to watch something when we got home around 8 o'clock. Forget it, man. I was done. I was out. I woke up at like midnight, did a few dishes and went to bed, kind of thing. It was just destroyed. And because sailing is hard work, like on a motorboat, I kind of don't think motorboats are real boats. I think they're just floating cars. And those really big cabin cruisers, they're just like motorhomes, on the water. But man, sailing is something else. Works your ass off, but there's a time honoredness to it, Oh, it was 3 women running, and they had to stop. The main one was diagnosed with a weak heart. I'd have a weak heart too if I was dealing with poor abandoned dogs all the time. Oh, you're heading home. Okay. Just leaving Hooters bike night. What's a bike night? Is that like a motorcycle get together? Oh, you're in Iowa. You'll be in Las Vegas on Saturday. She's driving and listening. Okay. Oh, Scott, that's not great. Oh no, did I yawn? Oh no, now I'm thinking about it. Oh no, I broke the seal. Crumbs. Oh, Serge is out. All right. She's getting up at 4 since it's the week before school starts. So you wake up to. All right. Good night. Good night, Serge. Everyone say good night to Serge. Yeah, and I haven't been sailing in like since before Clem was born. So it was really nice to get back on the water. Just there's a philosophy that time spent on a boat is not deducted from your allotted time on this earth, and I believe that. It's just unbeatable. It really is. If I was independently wealthy, I would absolutely have probably like a 30-foot, 30s, something French built. Has to be a French sailboat. No one else builds them like the French. And like maybe a Beneteau, maybe a Jeannot, but those are more like, they tend to build more for like ocean going. The boat that I was crewing on, the one that we were on, is it's a first 30. That's a Beneteau. Made in the 70s, so it's like way over engineered because they didn't have computers to tell them exactly how thick the hull had to be, so they just overdid everything. And it pays because we several years ago we hit something. We hit a rock, and so we were clipping along at like 4 knots, and from that to like a dead standstill, like big boom, and just stopped. There was a girl, a young woman, sunbathing at the bow, and she slid, banged her foot against one of the railings. Yes, a bike get together. Okay. Scott says they have bike night every Thursday at the Harley Davidson Museum here. Really? Yeah, fresh air will knock you out any time. I will tell you, I sleep really well when I'm out in the woods. Um, very, very well. David says I'm gonna get a French, but it has to be an ML. I do not know ML, but I'm about to look him up. I'm about to. Oh, crumbs. They make a 50-foot and a 60-foot. I could not afford to dock a 50-foot yacht. Yeah, these guys do. Yeah, these are ocean-going boats for sure. I would love to do blue water sailing someday. But yeah, I could never afford it. ML, that's probably a $1.2 million boat. ML 54. Yeah, the first thing the skipper said is get down below, check my bilge, tell me if there's water coming in. We were fine in the end after we checked everything. When he put the boat on the dry at the end of the season, though, like the bottom of the keel was like mushroomed. Nice thing about it being essentially a huge hunk of lead is you can fix that with heat and grinding, and like banging. But yeah. Christy just upgraded their travel trailer. Going to take it out for 2 nights and come home on Monday. Sounds nice. Do you know where you're going to take it? Are you taking it to a national park or something? Yeah, blue water sailing is the thing. I remember sailing out St. Vincent Islands, the huge swells coming off the Atlantic. Yeah, when we were in Jamaica last summer, we were on a catamaran. It was just when I was having the time of my life. Yeah, Mark is asking the same thing as I'm asking. Campground or boondocking? Also, with those big 50, 60-foot boats, hauling on lines, it can be really, really heavy. Peter Tucker says to Christy, cool deal. Did you get a bigger one? If you come through Vegas, let him know. She says, White Tank Mountains, like miles from our house, and it is a campground. Well, I'm gonna want to get a trip report when you're all done. 28 foot to 37 foot. Wow. Yeah, Chris. I mean, I broke the seal, and so now I'm thinking about yawning, which is making me like. See? When there's like 4 people hanging out, and one of them yawns, and you can just tell the others like, "Oh no, here it comes," and then. Yeah. Oh, it's only like 6 miles from your place. Nice. I'm envious of anyone who can just sort of kick out into the woods that close to home. For sure. Yeah, sorry, Jennifer. Yeah. I love it. Christy needs to escape the Arizona heat by going to Nevada. 15 minutes. I don't think. Has anyone seen Al tonight? Because if Al's not here, I don't really want to drink a Blue Label because that's like my drinking with Al drink. So I might do this. If I did this in front of a like bourbon TikTok or bourbon YouTube or something, half of you would lose your minds. But bottled in bond. Is this a straight? Kentucky straight. So that's a 2-year or more age. There's no age statement on it, but it has to be 2 years old or more. Al isn't here tonight, says Russell. Okay, so I'm going to do this then. Christy says, no wood stove. Too bad. Oh, it's in the desert mountains. No trees. All right. Well, still, whatever. Getting out of the city is worth it. Started collecting next year's firewood. Got to get a good, I think that means a decent wood splitter. Yeah, the splitter. Yeah. What's your budget? Whatever happened to? Oh, God, I've lost his name. On Discord, we were like the Three Musketeers or the Four Musketeers or something, and he and I used to drink that Alberta Premium Rye together when I was streaming or when we were on the Discord. What was his name? I've completely forgotten his name, but he just threw into my head just now. Russell, do you remember who I'm talking about? Glasses. I think he lived in the same house as his ex-wife. Sam. Shawnee, I think you're right. I think that was his name. I don't really like to spend this kind of money on bourbon because I feel that it's kind of a blunt object compared with Scotch. I'm sort of on record as saying that I feel that bourbon is a seasoning agent for Scotch barrels. But this is pretty damn good. It weren't cheap. It was $124 US in New York City. But yeah, Russell, I haven't heard from Sam in a while either. I'm wondering how he's doing. Because now that I've said that, I really don't want to look him up. Because we're not lucky with that. Cannot afford a Wallenstein. So, like, how many companies are making these wood splitters? Like, what's the gamut of choices in front of you? Like, I'm sure. What's that store called? The one that sounds like an auto supply store. I'm sure they have like a house version. Princess Auto. Yeah, I'm sure they've got like a house version. I don't remember what the American version of Princess Auto is called, but they've probably got their own version. But those would be like on the cheap side. Nope, it ain't 10 o'clock yet. But like, how many companies are making these things, and like, how wide is the gamut of quality between Princess Auto or whatever the American version is to, whatever Wallenstein is or whatever. Whereas Princess Auto, the American one, and the other store I'm thinking about, Harbor Freight. No, Harbor Freight's American. I'm pretty damn sure of it. Russell says he sees a lot of people using the Champion one. Yes, thank you, Christy. Or maybe they're both American. It's just I hear Americans talk about Harbor Freight, and I tend to hear people from like, Eastern Canada and Ontario talk about Princess Auto, but I might just be associating Princess Auto with English Canada because there are none of them in Quebec, right? Yeah, I've seen one at Canadian Tire, but I just figured that was Mastercraft or something. Yeah, Harbor Freight is in the States, right? Northern Tool also, right? Christy says we have Harbor Freight here, no Princess Autos that I know. So Princess Autos probably north. Here's one that's foot driven. You press your foot down on it a few thousand times and you have a nice pile of split wood. Really? Mark, how much was that bottle of Taylor? It was 124 US plus tax in Manhattan. But the thing is, there are places that sell this like way above secondary, right? $300 or $400 US. No, don't. No, there's no way. Yeah, there are stores that will charge whatever the market will bear, and the fact is, it's not. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a straight up unicorn, but it's not an extremely common bottle. So there are people who are willing to spend that kind of money on it, and I don't do that kind of pricing. I don't buy on secondary. I don't go to auctions. It's at the store or it doesn't exist, And I would not have spent $300 on this bottle. There's no way. Even 120 for American comes out to pretty damn close to 200 Canadian, and it's like, it's not Scotch, Tractor Supply as well. That reminds me of kind of like the co-op in Western Canada, maybe. 45 at the distillery. Yeah, but I mean that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, if it's 45 at the distillery, then if I found it at the SAQ in Quebec, it would be like maybe an $80 bottle, right? Because higher taxes, but because the SAQ is a crown corporation, they're not allowed to make a profit. So like they don't go, like they sell at MSRP after building in the tax. The LCBO is the same. They sell at MSRP, but then they build in the tax. But like, you're never going to spend above secondary the way you can in places like Alberta, where they're not regulated. But even in Alberta, they don't go crazy the way some stores in the States do. Yeah, Mark says secondary prices are cray. Absolutely. I don't dick around with that. No way. Really? So they range from $1,000 to $2,800 at Rural King. Okay. I mean, I guess, look, it needs to be a strong machine, right? I mean, you're splitting wood, and it's not an axe. You're like, so I get it. It's got to bring the strength. There's got to be a certain quality there, because otherwise, it's not going to stand up to the strength, to the strain. But like, that's $1,000 US. That'd be like easily 1,300, 1,250, 1,300 Canadian. But I kind of feel that the one at Canadian Tire is not that bad though. Wood splitter. Stop it. Come on, fool, go away. There we go. Oh, I just misspelled splitter. Wood splitter. So at Canadian Tire, oh, they've got many. No, they don't. Yes, they do. They start at $3.99. Oof. Yeah, but they go up to like, okay, there's one 1709, 1708.99, 36.99. Okay. So there's a wide gamut of prices. Our travel trailer came with a Furman 4500 3650 watt generator. Does anyone know anything about this? We do not. I do not know anything about that either, but there are people here who will. David and Russell both know their generators. Gray says, my great uncle had a huge splitter that could split 3-foot round stumps. I feel like that's more than most people would need. 3-foot round? That's a big honking machine. I'm still pretty old school. Like, to me, a wood splitter is a metal wedge on a stick. But I guess, as I get older, that the wedge on a stick will probably become harder and harder to use. So like, a wood splitter probably becomes a much more attractive purchase. Still 4 more minutes until whiskey time. Oops. Mm. I mean, look, to me, it's all theoretical. I can't burn wood in Montreal, right? It has to be a gas fireplace or pellets. So it's not like I'm going to have any requirement for a wood splitter or even the old school one anytime soon. Have you heard of a trucking company from here called Truck and Roll? They do entertainment movies for singers. No, never heard of that. I may have to look it up though. David says that the Wallenstein wood splitter Russell has is the Cadillac. I'm looking for a Chevy wood splitter. Okay. Well, looks to me like Canadian Tire has got you covered. They got a K2 for $36.99. That sounds more like a Cadillac to me. Well, you're not looking for a wood chipper. There's a Champion for $1708.99. 20 ton. There's one for $1,200. It's a 9-ton, gas powered, with a hitch. And of course, so that's another Champion. Then of course you got your Yard Works, right? $399, $499, $449, stuff like that. $649. So David, if you're looking for a Chevy wood splitter, I would check out Canadian Tire. In fact, I'm looking at it now, even though there's no reason for me to look at wood splitters. So I'm just going to close that. My friend is on tour with them hauling for Pink. Very nice people. And they said there's a 5-woman drivers that talk French and English. So what you mean is that it's a trucking company that specializes in hauling bands around on tour, I guess? Is that what you mean? Oui. Like, are they those trucks that haul like a band tour around, like the set pieces and the instruments and the this and the that? Is that what they do? It sounds like that's what you're saying to me. Are we up to 9? Yeah, he says yes, hauling them all over there. Yes, in Canada. That must be an interesting gig. You know, that must be an interesting gig. I mean, it's not the same as. Well, I don't know. Is it the same as hauling, logs or peanuts or product? I mean, is the driving part the same, and it's just kind of when you get to the destination, that's cooler. I don't know. I wonder if there are some old antique splitters out there that are still in working order. Maybe better quality than modern ones. Too many new products lack quality. I would love to know what a vintage wood splitter looks like. Vintage wood splitter. Whoops. Nope, that did not work. Just want to say, like, if there's something cool. Yeah, it's all just axes. It's all just axes. Well, now we know what a vintage wood splitter looks like. Mark is asking how many trucks to move Taylor Swift's show around. Man, I don't know. That's a very big show. Hey, 2201. Whiskey time. And the whiskey is, come on, focus. Thank you. Very pretty. And then one nice thing about bourbon is that that's going to be natural color, because there are regs about what kind of additives you can add. So that's going to be a natural color, no caramel coloring in that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Smells caramelly, brown sugary, touch of the oak, big oak, because American whiskey, well, bourbon, is aged in virgin oak, so it's unused casks. So it gets oaked very fast. You can over oak an American whiskey way fast. Love it. A little bit of a peanut note, which is one thing I like about this E.H. Taylor. Sweet. Bit of a cherry note, very peanutty. Caramel, butterscotch, brown sugar, like a burnt brown sugar, creme brulee kind of thing. Very nice. Entertainment hauling is at night, going from show to show, very different from what I do. Gone for 3 to 6 months. Yeah, that would be tough on family, I think. Pink show is 31 trucks and 16 buses. Holy crap. That's big money. Yeah, that's big money. Like, what the hell is Pink set? Like, what does the set look like? Tasty. Oh. No. I found an antique wood splitter, but I can't show it closer because I'm not signed into Pinterest. So never mind. I'm not wasting my time trying to remember my Pinterest password. Wait, sounds good. Can you buy Taylor in Kazakhstan? I believe you can. Let me just check BSW Liquor in Alberta. I'm pretty sure you can. Hold on a second here. Whiskey. Hold on a second here, people. I'm trying to find E.H. Taylor. Taylor Fladgate after Taylor Fladgate. Hold on a second here. Bourbon. E.H. Taylor. Colonel E.H. Taylor, yes. Sold out. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so there's E.H. Taylor small batch, which is this, which was 129 Alberta dollars, sold out. They have a single barrel for 149. I would totally spend that upcharge. They have an 18-year-old for 274. That sounds over oaked to me, but I don't know. Oh, they've got a straight rye. And there's an amaranth finish for $200, but they're all sold out. That's the problem with the E.H. Taylor, is that it's very hard to get it. Which is why in some American stores, it's a $300 bottle. But anyway, you're gonna join me, but you can't find the team anymore. Did StreamYard change? Can I find that without leaving the Can I find that without leaving the stream? Just taking a look here, people. I can't find it. Do you want me to just hold on? Just give me a second here. Give me a second here. I say bada bam bada bada bam bam. I am lost. Totally freaking lost. Ah, I have found myself. That makes it sound like I went walkabout, but I'm, so there you go. Hey, Mallow's here. How's it going, Mallow? How you doing? How are things working on that eco village? Destiny worked at an entertainment plex as a teen. Saw them set up for Rush, Kiss, etc. Even the streamlined sets take quite a few trucks. The thing is, it's because a show can't just be music anymore, right? When my wife and I went to see The Cure a couple of years ago now in Montreal, it was so refreshingly bare. Like, it wasn't bare, like there was nothing on stage. What I mean is the stage was just a backdrop, right? It was very sort of curtained and stuff, but like there were no moving parts. There were no pyro. It was just a stage, and the band was standing there playing their music the way The Cure always has. They've never been a band that was very like running across the stage or anything. Like I saw the Stones, and Mick Jagger was just The Cure was so refreshingly like not like that. It was just about the music, you know. I have this. I'm gonna sound old, but I do have this feeling that like a lot of the musicians today, the music just isn't good enough to pull it off without the stage show. Hold on a second. Man, my sinuses are just wrecking me today. Can I guess I have to add you to the stage, eh?
Wow. What a wide angle.
You? Yeah.
Let's see if I can make it wider.
Yeah, Chris, like some of them have huge shows, and I don't like some of them need the huge shows. Absolutely. Because the music isn't strong enough. I'm not saying that all of today's music is terrible. I'm just saying that there are some artists whose music is not strong enough to pull it off without a big stage show. I'm thinking of no, I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to be tearing people down because it's the same as doing what we're doing right now. Like putting yourself in front of people is very vulnerable, and I'm not going to tear someone down. But there are artists who I think the music is not strong enough to keep interest without a huge stage show.
You got to name names now.
Not going to do it. I'm way too classy for that.
Well, I'm reminded of the Motley Crue movie. Did you watch that?
Not yet. I've been told that I must, though.
Oh, it's fun until it isn't. But
mm-hmm.
Yeah, before they even did their first show, this is the movie, right? It was different in real life. They changed it for the movie, but it was funny because before they did the first show, they're like, we got to put on a show. We can't be like all these other jerks. So they got all these crazy costumes and did all their hair and okay, well, if your music isn't good enough, at least you can entertain them somehow. I mean, they came up with some great music, let's be honest. But
yeah, I mean, like if you look at Kiss, they overdid it with the costumes and everything. But I mean, a lot of their songs are strong enough to stand even without all that, right?
Yeah, okay.
Mallow was away to resource and regroup. Back now. Nice to know. You did some fishing at some point. Oh, Kristen says, how was the trip and how was the fishing? Did you get that tool? Yeah, Grace saw that you did a little fishing as well.
What was the tool?
I don't know. Wow. Mark lives 45 minutes from Buffalo Trace, so Blanton's, Taylor, Eagle Rare are obtainable if you don't mind standing in line. You can buy one bottle every 3 months. I would like to pick up a bottle of Blanton's just to see what the fuss is about. I suspect that it can't live up to the hype, or the prices. But I enter the lotto every time. I don't mean I enter like a lottery. The SAQ does what in most provinces you would call an allocation, but here we call it the lottery. I enter for like a Blanton's and a Pappy Van Winkle every time, and on the Scotch side for a Springbank. You know, all the stuff that you can only get on allocation.
Shit.
What are you doing, man? What's happening?
I bought a I'm completely out now, aren't I?
No, you're not out. It's just you're frozen.
I bought. So my GoPro's on a long clamp.
Whoops.
And I decided to go with something different, get a shorter clamp, and it's way short. Looks like I might have to leave and come back. Hold on a second.
Okay. Now it says you got the tool, caught a few fish, did a catch and cook video too. That was fun. That's cool. Excuse me. Chris will be recharging second week of September when his sister rents a house on the beach. Yeah, nice. Man, if I was independently wealthy, I'd be recharging all the time.
Oh.
Nice. Holy crap. Country Boy found that bottle in BC for 99. I would buy that. Might have to go for a drive. 99? Why not, right?
Bit of a drive.
Steel Buns McCracken. Yeah, it's mostly done in the studio. Yeah, you're right, Scott.
Did I tell the Steel Buns story?
Nope.
I went to a new medical place without giving more words, and they had an iPad for fill in all your information, your name, address, date of birth, all that crap, and it said name that you go by, which is weird, like a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't see that, so I put in Steel Buns. So, and they're all automated now, so I get emails from them addressed to Steel Buns.
I love it. Yeah, that I love. I would never have thought to do that. Just put my watch back on. That sounds like your phone. Grace says
that's David, actually.
I may be old school, but Linda Ronstadt could do a bare bones show, only her and her band. Man, she could belt out the tunes and stand on her own. If I'm remembering correctly, Linda Ronstadt threatened, I don't mean as in like, I'm going to kill you, but I mean, June Carter Cash felt threatened by Linda Ronstadt when she guested on the Johnny Cash show once. Because, you know, Linda Ronstadt showed up in a little mini dress, and at that point she was at the risk of sounding like a pig, delectable looking, and she was being kind of not like overly flirtatious, but like, you know, well, thank you, Mr. Cash. And so June Carter was she was eagle-eyed. I guess you couldn't really blame her, but it's just, I love stories like that because it just shows you that you can be famous and rich and riding high, and then along comes this little ingenue, and you're right back to being, you know, insecure.
Oh,
and
dang.
I mean, I do Insecure like I do Breathing, so you know, I love stuff like that. I mean, I don't love it in a, you know, in a Schadenfreude kind of way. I just mean it in the way of even people we tend to think of as extraordinary sometimes have very ordinary feelings.
She was something back in the day, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she really, really was. Her and Carly Simon, too. 1974. Russ, I went to New Brunswick to his subscribers, and he made a tool for me to help me find water in my soil type.
Well, I can't wait to see what that is.
Yeah.
Is it a big drill?
Country Boy is waiting for a specialist appointment to see if he needs surgery. I hate being lame. I would also hate being lame. And I'm kind of getting there. Like, my right knee gives me trouble. I think I mentioned in a previous live stream that I almost went down the stairs once a couple of weeks ago, bringing Clam up to bed while she fell asleep on the couch. Same thing happened yesterday. So
Are we going to start talking about physical problems? Because I'm going to start talking about my hip soon.
I don't want to dwell on it, but
you know what the worst thing is about getting old and having like pain and stuff like that is like I talked to my doctor recently about my hip problems, and she's like, well, there's not much we can do. And I'm like, what do you mean there's not much we can do? Like, there's got to be something. She's like, pain management. I'm like, oh my God, am I at that stage of my life that pain management is all I have to help me now? That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we're just, we're not 20 anymore. We're not 30 anymore. We're not even 40 anymore.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, did we?
You started it.
I didn't mean to start
earlier.
Yeah. Mallow says, wish it was a drill, but no, handmade. I will, however, start my hole with an auger. Fair enough. Like a big dirt auger. Grace says to Country Boy, been there, done that. 2 knee replacements and a back surgery in the past 5 years. Holy crap. You're still not 100% and probably never will be, but I deal with it and still can't. It's nice that you're still getting out there with that, with all that habit. He ain't even 50 anymore. I know. Neither of us are. It sucks being over 50 in so many ways.
We've talked about this before, how Jess's youngest daughter is only like a couple years older than my granddaughter.
Yeah, she's 5. So, yeah.
Oh, funny. Only a year then.
Yeah. Oops. And we're not that, like, our ages aren't that different, right? Like, I'm 52. Yeah. Scott's 60. Almost at retirement age.
Kids are great and all, but I forget where I was going with that.
I was like, so where's this going, Russell? And you just sort of stopped. Like, okay, fair enough.
Well, it's kind of a young person's game, because I don't think I could deal with kids right now. Maybe for short bursts as a grandparent, but it takes a lot of energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I often say that, I preface this by saying, by the way, I'm sold on my kids. I would not want to be without them, but I'm too old to have a 5-year-old, just in a purely physical way. It takes way too much out of me, for sure.
However, you do have the benefit of wisdom. Being a dad in your 20s is kind of like you're a kid having a kid. You're still trying to figure things out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm not going to say that, but yes, I do agree that having your kids a little later can, not always, but can be a benefit. I'm just thinking about, like, I'm gonna stop, because, like, it's impossible not to sound judgmental, even though I'm trying not to be judgmental. Like, it's not a judgmental comment, but you can't make it not sound judgmental. I just feel that, like, when I was in my 20s, I kind of didn't even know who I was yet, let alone knew who I wanted to spend forever with yet. Right. And that right there would have made me a terrible dad, because then I would have felt like these kids were ending my life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas by the time we did get around to having kids, I personally felt more seated. And there are people who get seated a lot earlier than I did. Like, it took me a long time to sort of settle down, which is why I don't want to say anything about it, because I can only come from my own experience. And my own experience was being a child. Well, I'm still a child. Let's face it. Guys don't grow up. We just grow old, right? And so, like, because I can only come at it from my own from my own perspective, and my own perspective was that I would be a terrible dad at 20, 26 kind of thing. That, and of course, you know, my parents had me quite young, and they're no longer together. So,
the funny thing is, we make so many important decisions when we're too young to make them. You know, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? You decide it when you're like 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You don't know shit.
I didn't know shit. No way. I knew nothing.
I only know that I was good at computers. That's it.
I didn't even know that. I felt like I fell into what I was doing as a career. Like okay. So I spent my whole life having my mind polluted by art school, and then I went to film school for university. But like, then I was working as a graphic designer, and I had taken graphic design school in Cégep. For those of you who don't live in Quebec, Cégep is college. It happens between high school and university, right? You go to school from kindergarten to grade 6, and then you start high school in secondary, Sec 1. You finish in Sec 5, which would be grade 11. Spend a couple of years in Cégep, and then university. Or you can take a career program at Cégep, which is 3 years or 4 years or whatever, and then you don't have to go to university. And I took graphic design thinking that it was art that will make you a living. And while I was in graphic design school, I was like, I hate this. So I switched out, went into creative arts, took a script writing course, discovered that the camera felt more natural to me than a paintbrush ever did, and I will probably never paint again. I do not remember what I was trying to get around to.
And suddenly you wanted to buy a canoe. We were talking about like making decisions when we're young before we're ready to make the decision.
Oh yeah. You know, like, yeah, I feel like I you know, and then I got out of school and ended up working as a graphic designer, like in tech, so interface design and stuff, just because it was something that I kind of had the skill for, but it's not where I thought I was going to go. Right. And my entire professional career has been not where I thought I was going to go. So like, I kind of feel that I never really got in touch with who I was in that way, you know? So, I mean, it's like, it's such a crapshoot in so many ways. Like, some things you can kind of figure out, and some things just sort of happen to you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No kidding. Some of the things I've gotten into over the years is like, how did this happen? How, like right now, like I'm in a cabin in the middle of the wilderness. How did that happen? Bizarre.
Yeah. Absolutely. But you know, I mean, some people say you end up where you're supposed to be, or you know,
fate.
Yeah, the whole fate thing. Whatever. But we do end up in a spot, and part of us did put us there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to sort of hit on some of the comments in the side chat so that we're not ignoring them. Mal loves that Grace still goes out to camp even through the pain. Yep, absolutely. I agree completely. Destiny says, on another note, I think Just looked like the lead singer of the Bare Naked Ladies in his acting picture. Oh, you're talking about my headshot? Yeah, I, in fact, did get mistaken for him a couple of times. I just think people thought I was fat. But yeah, I was mistaken for him a couple of times. In fact, at one point, they wouldn't believe that I wasn't him. I'm like, we don't have the same voice. And they just wouldn't take that. So I signed a freaking autograph. I said, dear blah, blah, blah. And I signed it Chuck U. Farley, you know. It's like, you know, if you're not going to take the fact that we are not the same person, then I'll sign the damn picture or plate or whatever the hell it was, napkin, just to get you out of my face. Oh, yeah. Yeah, love that.
I'm running low on beer because I don't have my ATV, so I'm digging into the good stuff. Oh, there's 10 of them.
Mallow says, when I was 16, I graduated. My dad said, go to school or travel, your choice. I went to Alaska. For me, it was always going to be school, even though I hated school. I hated school, but I was a coward, so I did school.
Well,
There's Tenenbaum. How are you doing?
Yeah.
How's the weather in Sweden this morning? And in fact, I went to film school instead of just getting onto a film set kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
I don't seem to have any more of the rum cask stuff, though.
I've never even tried the rum cask stuff. Tenenbaum's a little tired. Well, it is early for you. I don't blame you for being tired. I am going to be similarly tired tomorrow. Unfortunately for me, at work tomorrow, I have to participate in a relay race in the 30-degree weather.
Like physical, like running?
Yeah. So, as part of the Olympics, the customer experience team at my business decided they would, like, every Wednesday do like an office Olympics. The first one was
And you can't stand the Olympics.
I hate the Olympics, but the first thing was like Nerf gunning, a pyramid of solo cups. The second week was basketball, like free throws, and then there was mini putt, which I missed because I was in Alberta, and there was Mario Kart last week, which I missed because I was somewhere. And then, so tomorrow it's a relay race. And then it's the ending ceremonies, which is going to be a 5 set after work.
That sounds like fun. Jeez.
Yep.
I should do that with my company.
What, the dogs? Yeah. Shawnee says, make sure you stretch and eat your banana. Yes, I will eat a banana beforehand. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to video the relay race. I also, I don't want anyone seeing me at work. Like, I need to keep those two things separate, you know? I love it. Country boy, sounds like your boss wants to get rid of a few old folks.
Oh, and there goes John. Come on, Sally. Come on.
You can do it. Oh, nope. Forget it. Okay, so we're posting 2 openings tomorrow. But I will likely need to take a shower after that. That's for damn sure. Mallow says, I'm lying in bed listening, but my eyes are dangerously heavy, so I might lose the battle with my pillow while watching. It was a big weekend and lots of work waiting when I got back. That's fine. I mean, thanks for kicking in, for the time you did. We're not going to hold it against you if you fall asleep. I mean, I've fallen asleep on my own live stream before, haven't I? So, no judgment.
We don't do that. We don't pass out or anything.
Yeah.
Mallow's got a huge amount of work ahead of her.
Yes, she does.
I know exactly what she's in for.
Well, how much clearing did you have to do? Because she did a lot of clearing. How much clearing did you have to do?
Very, very little, actually. Almost nothing. There was we're sitting right on a rock here, so there was mostly just scrub brush.
Yeah.
Most of the work was pouring the concrete piers, and getting the forms ready and drilling into the concrete to put the rebar to hold the piers in place.
Oh yeah, you didn't have to go 4 feet down because you're sitting on a rock.
Couldn't go anywhere down.
Yeah.
Well, there was dirt in some places, so I had to kind of dig away the dirt.
But it's not the same as if I'm putting in a fence, I have to dig 4 feet down.
Yeah, you
have to get past the
frost line. Yeah. Right, but bedrock doesn't move, so as long as I'm rebarred into the rock.
Good old Canadian Shield, eh?
I tell you what, I would kill to have a proper basement and a cistern, but yeah, it's good and bad.
Yeah. Shawnee says, thought you were going to say you didn't want anyone to see you around. No, I don't want, for the same reason, because I'm never sure if I'm going to live stream or shoot a quick little video. We get all kinds of swag from my job, and I don't wear any of it because I don't want to feel like I can't just sort of whip out the camera and shoot something at the drop of a pin, drop of an excuse. Oh my God, Zach is here. How's it going, Zach?
Hey, Zach. Conversely, though, do you wear your pea soup shirt to work?
Yeah. I've
You
worn
wear
that shirt to
t-shirts to work?
work. I've worn that work to gigs more often than I care to count.
So did people ask you about it?
Yeah, it's like drunken frat boys are the worst when I'm wearing that shirt. Pea soup. It's like, yes. Pea soup now,
hilarious.
please just move along. Yeah. Hey, look who's here as well. Jim. We got Zach. We got Jim.
Howdy, Jim.
What a great night. People are already saying goodnight to Mal. Yeah, I think she's going to fall asleep. But that's fine. It's been a big time for her. Yeah, Country Boy's like, in case you lose the battle, I'll say goodnight now. Yeah. Everyone's saying goodnight. Oh, Destiny got an advert.
The 10:30 ad.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be safe to say goodnight now, even though she's still listening. Yeah, that's, stick it out as long as you can, but shut her down when you need to. As I said, we ain't gonna do no judgment here, because I'm wrecked as well, man. I'm ready for bed. Work is tough as hell these days, and yeah, it really is. Since January though, my position has gotten a lot of scrutiny because I'm the only one in my company doing what I
Right.
Yeah, I went from being a content creator, which is what they now call tech writers, to a video content creator. But I'm the only one in the company.
I can see that. I can see that new position, new. So it's a totally new, not product, but it's a new stream of.
Yeah, it's brand new. They didn't have one before. So.
Well, without going into too much detail, are they like really critical? Or are they like, this is good and it's going in the right direction? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it helps that I am just fabulous.
I was going to say that next. And are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Well, at least enjoying it more than what you were doing.
Yeah, massively more. Massively. I mean, there's a lot of stress that comes with, essentially starting an entire new team and new processes and stuff, right? Like I had to write the processes, the POC and all that stuff, but and that's upgrading all the time. Like for instance, YouTube has changed a few things in the past year or two that affect me at work, and that should probably affect us here as well. That I'm not going to bore everyone with right now, but Honeybee is out. Good night.
It's not that new bill, right? B whatever, C.
No, it's like when you click, if you want to share a video now, I would not use the share button, because what happens, like if you guys look at the, I was going to not bore you guys. I'll make this very quick. If you guys look at the address bar above this video, you will see youtube.com/live/xut blah, 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 blah. It's going to be 11 characters because of a YouTube video ID is 11 characters long. So if you want to share this video and you copy that and send it to someone, they'll get that.
Yep.
If you click on the share button, you're going to get that. Then there's going to be a little question mark, SI equals, and then another string of characters. And what that is a source identifier that Google uses to track who shared the video and who received the video.
No way.
Yeah.
I see that now. Like I always just copy the text. I don't use any of it. So what comes up is all the apps that they're connected to. So you can share it to WhatsApp, Facebook. I don't know what X is, Reddit, VK, OK, Pinterest. I don't even know what these are. Tumblr, LinkedIn. But you can also just copy the link. And I just noticed it now. There's a question mark in this SI thing.
So if you're just going to share it, just copy everything up until the question mark and leave everything on the question mark off.
Yeah.
I just want to say good night to Peanut Trucker. By the way, it's Labor Day weekend up here in Canada as well. Although for us, Labor has a U in it.
Good night, Chris. Great.
So good night,
Jennifer.
Sleep well. Yeah, I guess Jennifer is out as well. So good night, Jennifer. I hope you both have a fabulous evening.
Okay, so what is the downside of the share thing then, as far as your company's concerned? Or you don't have to talk about this. I'm just curious.
I'm the one who it's bugging.
Oh.
I'm the one who is bugging. I have to decide whether or not I want to go into the topics in the guide that have the videos in and take that out now that I know what it is, because I don't like the idea of Google tracking or getting analytics from anything actually. Like I don't use the share button to share my own stuff to people anymore. I go and I take from the from the address bar just because shut up, Google. You get enough analytics as it is.
I don't like being tracked either. Am I frozen on your screen?
Yes. I mean, I can still hear you though.
Okay, yeah, my output, my send dropped to very little, so I might just have a bad satellite here. I'll just wait and see. He's face on me. Great.
Yeah. Oh, Zach bought a spill plane. Nice. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Zach, what is a spill plane?
Yeah, I'll show you. I will show you. Lee Valley sells them. Oh, crumbs. I accidentally went into the chat GPT explanation. Okay. So what a spill plane does is I'm not going to waste your time. You run like a piece of wood along it, and it'll create like these sort of long tapered curls of wood that you can then use to light candles or lanterns or whatever. This is like a very old method of doing, just like, you would create these spills and you would light them because it's very thin wood, so it lights easily, and then you'd use it to light candles or lanterns or whatever. I found a picture, but it seems that everything is frozen. There's a picture.
This appears to be on my end. Shazbut.
There we go. Okay, I shall now show. Don't go away because I'm about to show you what a spill plane looks for.
Okay.
I say boom. I say share screen. I say Lee Valley replica spill plane, although it's a real spill plane. So see, like, you run the corner through and it creates these long. So there you go. This is the Lee Valley one. I don't know which one Zach got, but this Lee Valley, it's a replica of a 19th century design. But
and what do you do with those strips that's coming off?
You use them like matches. You light them, and they burn long enough that you can light all your candles.
Okay.
We based the design of our spill plane on an 1850s Edward Preston spill plane in our collection. You simply push a piece of straight-grained softwood over the blade, guiding it along a channel in the sole to produce long, tightly curled shaving. I'm just looking for those with fireplaces or wood stoves, using the spills made by this plane will help start a fire and rekindle old traditions. So they were essentially, you take a flame and you move it from, this little whatever ashtray or whatever to, light your fire, your lantern.
They would call that a splint in the past, right?
Maybe.
I might be wrong in that.
Hold on. Destiny's, thanks for the valuable insight resharing. Yeah, don't use the share button anymore unless you just copy everything up to that question mark.
The other annoying thing that often happened with people because they couldn't figure it out is if you're like partway into the video and you do the share button, sometimes it will give you the timestamp.
Oh yeah.
So you're sharing it and you share it at that timestamp.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. Sean James once did that on an Instagram post.
Really?
And with the timestamp in there, and I tried to explain to him, like, you've got the timestamp in there, you just take that out, and he couldn't understand what I was saying. So I take from that he's not too tech savvy.
Yeah. No, I don't pick up a huge tech savvy off of it. He probably knows what he needs to know.
Yeah.
He probably knows how, like he clearly knows how to edit. I wonder if he's got an editor now, though.
If he does, I bet it's one of his family members.
I would love to be able to just pay an editor, because my output would go up massively. Christy said that looks like a pic of you, Russell, when you swatted the bug and missed when you were all frozen. Jim says, you're going to make me Google a spill plane. No, I showed it to you. I done my job. I showed you a spill plane. Zach, if you're still here, did you buy the Lee Valley one, or did you get an actual vintage one? I would love to buy that spill plane, but it's only $60 Canadian. I haven't. Joy says, if you had a lighter, why would you need the spill plane? I would not use a lighter. I use flint and steel, or I use a ferro rod. I'm a classicist when it comes to fire. You know that. I have used a lighter in the past when nothing else was working, though.
Just stares at a piece of wood and it burns.
Yeah, with my laser eyes.
I gotta be honest, I don't see a practical use for a spill plane if that's all it does.
Well, no, in the 21st century, there is no practical use for it.
I mean, what it looks like it does is the job of a router. Like it's taken off like a nice corner of your piece of wood.
But the router isn't going to create a long curl. The spill plane creates
I get
a long
that,
curl.
But I don't really need a long curl.
Long curl.
How long? How curly?
However long the piece of wood is. Oh, this is getting dangerously close to Buttman style territory.
Buttman. We need more Buttman in our lives.
Zach says, mine's an old block plane. I originally thought it was a molding plane. Okay.
Christy.
He said spill plane and firecraft, and I thought he was going to be learning how to do firefighting. I never heard of a spill plane. The closer we get to 11, the crazier everything gets.
Holy crap! Those spill planes are like $500,000, aren't they?
Those Canadaires are like a couple of million, I think.
I'll buy one of those and look for forest fires, of course. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah, I'm in a plane and I'm spilling.
I think there's one over there.
Yeah, Zach, that's what I should have said right off the bat. The finished product of the spill plane is the shaving, not the wood being planed. That is the big difference between it and a router, for sure.
Okay, but Jess, you can feather wood, and that's got to be very similar.
Like, you mean making feather sticks and stuff? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing, the use case is different, though. Oof. That was a word from my my day job. Now I've got self-loathing. The way one uses because the thing about feather sticks is you're creating like a poof of very thin shavings, right? You light it, and with the spill plane, because you're creating one sort of tube, like it creates like this long spiral. You can use that like you would a very long match. So it's not quite the same use. And he didn't finish the term. Like the spill plane is for a time, like think of Victorian times when you're lighting a gas lantern. You know, your house is full of gas lights or lanterns or candles or whatever, and you want like a long. Essentially, it is essentially what those long matches now do. I'm trying to stay on screen here, right? Long match, you can light half a dozen candles before you burn the crap out of your hands. And the spill plane creates a long taper of dry wood that works exactly the same way. So it's not the same as a feather stick, you know?
You know, it's funny.
Spill plane.
Like City Girl sometimes, well, she always talks about her work just to me, which is the work. Mm-hmm. And she comes back with these terms, and I think, I was in the corporate world for a long time, and there are a lot of terms that we throw back and forth. But then, she starts coming back and she says, "Oh, there's this key performance indicator." I'm like, or no, in fact, she said it was, she's talking about KPIs. I'm like, what the hell is a KPI? Key performance indicator. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
But it's used so often now.
Well, it's because we live in a world that's run by MBAs now, right? Look, I'm the type of guy who does not want to hear about the involuntary conversion of a 747 when what you're actually trying to tell me about is a plane crash. Do you know what I'm saying?
Involuntary conversion of a 747 is the same as a plane crash? Is that right?
Yeah. So like I prefer the language being used to be as plain as possible. In fact, there's this whole movement against like these sort of overly technical terms and stuff. They call it garbage speak. But like the fact is, the business world talks of KPIs and OKRs and all that stuff.
I would be at a loss if I had a corporate job right now, or if I entered the corporate world again right now.
Well, yeah, because like the language is different than it used to be, and I'm just adjusting but I mean, I still enjoy my job. I still work for a great company, and I'm not management, so I don't have to use
You do
those
work
terms.
for a great company. You guys do the Olympics. That's awesome. More companies should do that. Should embrace this social culture. I mean, when I worked, oh my God, this is like 30 years ago. I worked at a big pharmaceutical company, and I started organizing trips to go play paintball. We had a great time. And the senior VP of our department came out and said, social events like this are great. We should do more of these.
Which is true.
Wrong. And then the stupid guy came out to play paintball, and because he couldn't see through the mask, he took it off while we were playing. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna lose an eye.
Don't take the mask off.
Don't take the mask. I was screaming at him I could see him a long ways off. I was screaming, "Don't take your mask off." He couldn't hear me.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
I kind of want to buy this spill plane.
Oh God, don't do it.
Not going to do it. I'm not buying anything right now.
If you can do the same thing with a knife, then don't do it.
I see them as being very different. The reason why I'm not going to do it is because I don't have a use for it right now.
Nobody does.
And like Lee Valley ain't going to stop making it anytime soon. There's several coworkers I'd like to put a few paintballs into, like several hundred paintballs. Well, I'm lucky in that I don't currently work with anyone that I feel that poorly towards. Yeah, Grace, but paintballs they're not gentle. That's for sure.
Yeah, depending where you get hit, it can really hurt. Sorry. Anyway, Zach, I don't mean to like rain on your spill plane party.
But the thing with stuff like this, though, is that it's not about it being a logical purchase. Like Zach said, he's just playing with it. He's just sort of like enjoying working with it. And for me, I like the old school way of doing all that kind of stuff. I like the idea of lighting a spill rather than hoping to hell that when I light this really long match, it doesn't snap in the middle kind of thing.
Good night, David.
Oh, David's out? Okay, good night. Good night, David.
Oh, I totally understand buying things just because I want to have them because they're cool. Like I've got this huge saw on the wall that I'll probably never use. Really
I do love that saw. I would buy that saw in a Montreal minute.
And the knives that I bought, there's some that I'll never use. I totally get that part of it.
Yeah. As Zach says, when he bought it, he did some research and came across Ian Reardon's short. So that's an Irish person. Ian Reardon's short. Zach, do you have a URL for that? Have you got a URL for that? Grace says, my son got hit in the neck with one. Next day, he bought a neck guard.
I got hit once. I was out. I've been hit. I was walking. I had my gun over my head, and I was walking out going, I'm out. I came right in the middle of a crossfire. They didn't see me until I just entered, and it caught me right here on the Adam's apple.
Oh,
Ow.
that
Damn.
sounds very painful.
That and the inside of the thigh, those are the two worst places.
Yeah.
Or in the back of the hand. You get hit in the back of the hand, you'll feel that all day.
Yeah. Anywhere where there's not a lot of padding. Oh, I know who Ian Reardon is. Oh, did I just shout? I know exactly who Ian Reardon is. See him a lot on the Talk of Ticks. So he's got a spill plane short. I think all of his videos are shorts, aren't they? Let me see if I can find it.
If he's on TikTok, then yeah, I guess they would be, wouldn't they? Hey, you know what I've noticed recently? Doing searches on Google, a lot more TikTok stuff comes up now.
Yeah. People are using TikTok to essentially. TikTok is what YouTube used to be. You know, like we're Canadian, so there's no money for us, right? There's no creator fund here, but in the States, people are making they're living off of TikTok more than they are.
But what I don't get is I never watch TikTok. I shouldn't be getting like all these search results.
Well, have you? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because like the algorithm shouldn't be feeding you that kind of stuff, right?
I would think. Yeah.
Well, I'm at Ian Reardon, and I'm not seeing a spill plane, but I will keep looking. Because using a spill plane, and since it is a YouTube short rather than a TikTok, it is a TikTok as well. But I'm just going to post this in the side Chisnat. So if anyone is interested, feel free to right-click on that and open it in another tab for later. Yeah, I love this guy. He and another guy, a blacksmith, are working at a heritage fair or something lately. I would love to do something like that. I would love to make my living making videos of using hand tools and getting to ply my craft at heritage sites or maybe not a Ren fair, because I'm kind of what's it called, LARP. I'm LARP ambivalent, shall we say. And I find that a lot of LARPers go to Renaissance fairs and stuff.
Live action role play.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little LARP averse, actually. I used to be a girl who worked with us at the day job who one weekend, not one weekend, like at one point so what are you doing this weekend? She's like, this weekend on Saturday I'm bonding with my power. She said it's going to be painful and loud, and she's totally talking about her LARP character, right? Her LARP character was like a cleric or something where they have to like bond with their magical power through some sort of, painful ceremony. And I'm just like, because she was a LARPer and a former theater student, right? So she went all in on her characters, and I'm just like, I try not to be judgmental, because at the end of the day, if you can grab something to love, I don't mean in a romantic way, but like find something that you enjoy doing and that you will gladly give up your time for, do it.
Sometimes it's something you love, and sometimes it's something you feel at home at, or where you belong. Maybe is a better way to say, like, for people who look at you and say, I love you because you love this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. Hey, Marcel's here. How's it going? Oh, Zach.
Marcel.
Yeah, when Zach says, I almost cried when you cut the handle off a new Groundsfirst just because you wanted an ash handle instead of hickory. He does that kind of stuff, though, and when you're as skilled as he is at working with the wood, to you it's just a handle. Yeah, because he's good enough to recreate what he needs. But yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, good old whiskey.
Cheers.
Ah, whiskey, you're my only friend.
The house is on fire. Just save the children. But the whiskey.
The whiskey.
Okay, I'll save the kids, but you save the whiskey.
Yeah, you grab the whiskey, I'll grab the kids. What time are we at? Okay, we're at 4 minutes to 11, so we're coming down the home stretch, which is great because I need to go to bed, like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on next week though, which is fine. It's so tough, like in the summer, to be like, okay, I think I'm on next week. Are we in town? Yes, but like once fall hits, it's a little easier to be sure that I'm going to be around. I'm so far not leaving town at any point this fall, so I think we're got a pretty good run all the way through till Christmas. I am really hoping to have a reading and some news for next week. There was a couple of news things I was going to do this week, but whatever. Oh, Shawnee said insurance for the whiskey. Yep, that would be great.
Whiskey insurance?
Whiskey insurance.
See, there'd be an uncomfortable questionnaire that goes along with that. You have this much whiskey. How much do you actually drink?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Forget it.
Yeah, we're not going to insure this. Destiny says, bonsoir et bisous from the hot tub. Good night, Destiny. See you next week.
Good night, Destiny.
Marcel says, everyone else in the house was in bed before 10, and I feel like I've won a prize. I love it. Jim says, bonsoir and à bientôt. Yeah, it's 10:58. I'm looking forward to that bed. I am going to close the spill plane page so that I don't buy one. Done. Because I don't even have a fireplace. That would be useless for me. But I love that old school methodology.
But you could sleep with it under your pillow.
I do that with my cell phone.
Okay,
I don't.
Well,
do
that's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought maybe a knife or something, but
I do that with my AK. I don't have an AK. And the whiskey is now finished. A minute before 11. I think that is excellent timing. Because really, I am just that magical. Country Boy is out. He's saying good night to everyone. So is Scott. Good night, Scott. Good night, Country Boy. Good night, Christy. She's saying good night as well.
Wow, you still got 23 people watching.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if I was independently wealthy, I would stay on as long as it took. Yeah, Grace is saying good night. Good night, Grace.
Good night, guys.
Little Fish, glad to catch y'all for a few minutes. Good to see you as well, Marcel. Shawnee didn't even get to ask you about the garden. Zach says some guy insured a box of cigars and the company took him to court when he tried to make a claim. Why would you insure a box of cigars?
Well, and if you're the insurance company and you insured a box of cigars,
yeah, what are you going to expect?
What are you going to do?
I'm making a claim because these cigars all got burned by fire. All right,
one at a time, very slowly.
One at a time, slowly. I didn't notice them disappearing. Tenenbaum says, "Bleh."
They're over there in the ashtray.
All my cigars, they've just turned to ash. All right, we're at 11 o'clock, so I'm going to shut her down until next Tuesday. I have a video that should have gone out today, but I'm, lost track of time. So I'll try to get that out tomorrow or something. Between now and next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another.
And bisous.